Suit up, strap in, warm the tires, and leave on yellow. Time for the MitsuTimes podcast, presented by MitsuTimes.org, the home of the fastest Mitsubishi cars. With your host, Josh.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the MitsuTimes podcast. My guest today, Mr. Jerry Madai. He is the owner and driver of a very cool stock appearing Evo. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fantastic. Glad to have you on. I'm a huge fan of the stock appearing class, and I think that a lot of the bigger 64 mil guys will go into Street Eliminator, so I'm really looking forward to the stock appearing class this year. I think it's going to be full of some really, really nice cars.
Yeah, I hope so, because I mean, it kind of seems like it's tapering off, and I'm hoping to see a full field this time.
Yeah, for sure. Last year was very thin.
Yeah,
I'd love to see a resurrection of that class for sure.
Me too.
Well, Jerry, for listeners who may not know you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your Evo?
Well, I've owned my Evos. It's a 2005 Evo 8. I've owned it since new. I bought it brand new in 2005. So, yeah, I've had a lot of ups and downs with it. I've been to the track with it hundreds of times, but I have never seriously raced with it until recently. And I've always wanted to be in the stock appearing class. I was actually in the stock appearing class about 10, maybe 12 years ago for the first time. But in the first round, my clutch burned up and I was out. So, and then I came back in, was it 3 years ago, where I got third place. And then last year I got second place. And this year I'm going for that first place. So we'll see what happens.
For sure. Kind of got robbed last year. But it is what it is. That's racing, they say.
Yeah, I mean, we were sitting in the staging lanes because a car caught on fire in the right lane. I don't know if I think it was a Honda of some sort. But yeah, we were sitting there forever. It was getting cold. Kind of lost my, concentration. And yeah, I wasn't there, and I got treed. So otherwise, I would have had that win.
Sure. You were much quicker.
Yeah, it was quicker and faster, but you gotta be on that tree to win.
That's right. So, Jerry, what is it that drew you to the Evo and Mitsubishis in the first place?
Well, it's pretty funny because high school and before Fast and the Furious, I was into low riding. So
Okay.
I had hydraulics and stuff like that. And then Fast and the Furious came out, and that's when I got drawn into the Evo, which I'm assuming a lot of people did the same way. And I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know there was 1 through 7. So I would always look in car magazines and look at the back of the car and drivers and stuff and see, which cars were quick and which cars had some good potential. So I'm like, oh, I wonder how this Evo is going to do. And I looked, and I was pretty shocked to see how it did in stock form, as a 4-cylinder. And then I started. I found streetfire.net back then. I found AMS had that killer 2.3 liter Evo that was terrorizing the streets, in Florida, and that's basically what piqued my interest. And yeah, it's all from here, all downhill from there.
Yeah. Yeah, and ain't nothing wrong with the lowrider scene, though. I do love me some lowriders.
Yeah, that kind of died off as soon as the Fast and the Furious came out, so had to get rid of that and move on to a way more expensive hobby.
Seems like cars stopped being about show and started being about go right as soon as those movies came out.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I was always kind of into speed, but I never, been to the track. I never took it seriously. Me and my friends would line up at a light and, nothing fast, just have fun. But I never been to the track in my own vehicle until I got the Evo.
Wow.
So yeah, it was, I learned. My first pass was at GLD, a local track. I think I ran like a 14.5, but I had fun, and from there on, I was hooked.
Yeah, I was gonna say it only takes one pass, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. And then yeah, started the mods started from there.
At what point did you say to yourself, "This is going to be a stock appearing build"?
Well, when I found out about the shootout, because I didn't know about the shootout until, I don't know, maybe 2006, because I was on the Evo M forums. Obviously, I joined that right away to learn about the car some more and learn about everything else. And that's how I found out about the shootout. But I never went until I think it was a 20th anniversary. I think that's when I first went.
Wow.
Uh, Yeah, so and then that's when I learned about the stock appearing class. And I never wanted to get my car to the point where I couldn't drive it on the street and just go to the show and enjoy it. So I think my car, as it sits right now, even with it running high nines, I have everything. I have AC, I have power steering, I have a radio, I have roll up power windows. It's an SSL package. I did remove the front seats and put some racing seats in, but other than that, yeah, it's a very stock, you open the hood and it's just shiny and clean, but it's very stock looking.
Nice. I like your style.
Yeah. So I drive it to work and when I can, and I still enjoy the car.
Okay. Well, you talked about it being a lot of stock under the hood. Why don't you give us the rundown on what's making this Evo motivated to run the 9.7?
It's a 2.3 stroker engine, GSC R2 cams with full valve train, Cali's crank, turbo tough rods, boost and spec pistons, CNC ported head. It's got an FP 0. Um, I mean, that's full, obviously, fuel system. But yeah, it was all the engine was fully built by Devin at Booston and obviously tuned by him. I've been going to him for quite some time now, so um, yeah, everything's been good.
It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, and I'm still on a synchro trans, and I don't have a slipper clutch. Some guys in the class have a dog box, and some have a slipper valve for the clutch, which is allowed. But honestly, I like to be in control of my car and drive it myself. It is all being held by a Exity triple disc clutch that has taken the abuse. It's a good clutch, street friendly for me. It does make the rattle noise when you push the clutch pedal in, but I think most multi-play clutches do that. I do have a Huitran inline racing shifter, which definitely helps you feel more confident banging gears, so you don't have to worry about missing a gear. And as far as my suspension setup, I have all polyurethane bushings, along with some Apexi N1 coilovers, which definitely saves some weight. As far as I know, I think these are the lightest coilovers that you can get for an Evo. Um, that's what Busher was recommending back in the day. He said they were the lightest ones. Maybe there's some lighter than that now, but I mean, these were definitely lighter than factory struts. Um, I did restack the rear differential clutch discs to JDM spec for better lockup. But other than that, the rear diff and all four axles are actually stock. So hopefully these parts don't let me down. They've seen a lot of drag strip passes and haven't had any issues yet. So fingers crossed on that.
Yeah, you need to go knock on some wood.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm surprised, but at the same time, I mean, I don't, I'm not too hard on it. But it's working. So I mean, eventually I'll have to step it up to some like drive shaft shop shafts or something. But for now, they're doing good. And then I do have a two-piece drive shaft, which is to save even more weight, rotational weight. So that definitely helps. Um, yeah, but overall, I feel like I'm more stock appearing, than any other car in the class, and I'm still getting it done. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth mentioning, but I think maybe I might have a micro record of some sort for having an FP0 and still having AC, power steering, synchrotrans and sunroof, power windows, all the stock stuff. But not everyone cares about micro records.
Yeah, but that's still quite a feat to, still have all the creature comforts and be able to run the times that you run.
Yeah, I agree. it's definitely working. You know, but it's doing its job. And then the trans, I have a built trans with a Evo 9 first and 411 final drive. Obviously, the transfer case is built. It still has an ACD, so it doesn't have the viscous coupler. It just has the ACD, which I've been able to finally get into and start tuning it to be more aggressive. So I think that also helped me out.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that was the thing. That's cool.
Yeah, it's on the forums. You have to really dig for it. It's not something that's really out there. It took me actually quite some time to get it to finally work, but I was able to get in there and start, like I said, be more aggressive with the lockup.
Jerry, I kind of spilled the beans with the 9.7, and you also went over 150 mile an hour. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what that run felt like from your seat? You know, being in that you can drive this car back and forth to get groceries, so that must have been a hell of a ride.
Yeah, so when I had before this FP0, I did have an FP Black, and the fastest I've been in that was I think a 10.4 at like 133, I think it was. And then I got this FP0, and the first time I went out, I actually ran a 9.7 at 150 miles an hour at my local track for the first time. Um, and yeah, it was very fast, and it's very fast when you get to the end and you have a hard time slowing the car down. So we have two exits at our track. I think most tracks sometimes do, but I had to go to the far end of the track I don't want to burn up my brakes, but yeah, it felt very fast.
So that gets scary though whenever you're missing that first exit and you're still on the brakes.
Yeah, exactly. And then so then I went to the shootout and then what was it, 2 years ago, and I qualified with a 9.7. The car's a consistent high 9 second car. Even when in the last year in the finals, when I got treed, I think we both kind of bogged off the line, but even with the bog, I ran a 9.9. So yeah, like I said, it's a very consistent car. I like to see it run a 9.4, 9.5 though. So that's my goal for this year.
And Jerry, if I'm not mistaken, the quote unquote fast guys in stock appearing, forgive me for saying that, but there's like some 8.9, 8.7 cars in stock appearing, right? But I think they broke last year.
No, I think was it Jeremy Keys? I think he's got the record for a 9.1, or it's Matt Franks. I can't remember. One of the two have that record of a 9.1.
My bad. I'll cut that out. I must be thinking of something else.
Yeah, I don't think no one's gotten into the eights yet. Matt Franks was trying to for a little bit, and then I think he said he's just gonna move up to the bigger turbo. I think he's gonna be in was it Street 32 or Street Eliminator this
Yeah, I
year?
think he's in Street Eliminator.
Yeah. So I did. I was talking to those guys for quite a few years. I got to know them before I actually jumped into stock appearing with them. Get some advice from them. So that team is very helpful.
Yeah,
All a
for
bunch
sure.
of cool guys.
They definitely run the class. Them and Mike Rubin.
Yeah, yeah. So I was, Mike Rubin. Unfortunately, I think he something happened with his clutch or something like that. But I was thinking it was going to be me, Mike Rubin, and Hui Tran, in the finals. But it didn't. That did not happen. Anything can happen in obviously racing. Stuff happens. But I wound up going against Andrew Bowman. I think he's in was a 1G with like a shark mouth on the side or something.
Is that what it was? Okay. I
Yeah.
can't remember what that one looked like.
Yeah, it has like a shark mouth or something along the side with a teeth. Um, but yeah, he's the one that got me on the tree.
Fair enough.
I mean, I'm
Congratulations.
not a, I'm just getting into this. I haven't, I've been to the drag strip, like I said, numerous times throughout the years of owning this car, but I've never tried to cut a light or anything like that. And so that's what I'm working on for this year.
Yeah, yeah, I got you. Well, Jerry, what does it take to make a stock appearing Evo run that kind of number while, still fitting in and having the cast manifold and being able to have all the interior pieces and all that?
So I mean, I also made the car a lot lighter. I have the tubular subframe. I don't have the race brakes yet, but I have lighter two-piece rotors, and just trying to make the car as light as possible. I still have some work there. I still have a lot of things I could do to make the car lighter, but I still always want to have the full, interior and um, just keep it as stock appearing as possible. Obviously, you need the power to do that too, and then you need to know how to drive the car too, of course.
Yep. A lot of seat time definitely helps, right?
It does, yeah, for sure. And like I said, I've done it a lot. I'm not used to cutting lights, so that's what I need to learn to do better.
Well, Jerry, you talked about a lot of parts, and obviously Devin behind the keyboard. What part of the combo took the most trial and error to get dialed in and most suited to you?
Um, I think it was for a little bit. It was trying to get this ACD to work properly. I was having issues where it would spin the front tires only, and I thought my pump was going bad, and this and that. And finally, I think I got that dial in where I was able to be more aggressive with it in the tune. And I think that definitely helped bring my time down a lot. I still have more I can do with that, so I'm gonna it's just more trial and error, see what I can do with that. I do have a Elite 1500 too, running the engine, so I have all the safeties and stuff like that.
Makes sense then why it's doing so well with the Heltec on board.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's very user friendly. I can look at it, check my logs, that if I can change things if I need to. And in worst case, I'll have Devin, switch something up if need be. But I'll have him. He'll check it out. He'll look at it over and make sure everything, is still good.
So, Jerry, we talked a little bit about some of the cars in the class having some breakages and some challenges to even make it to the end. What's been the biggest challenge with balancing power and reliability and consistency with a setup like this?
Um, I mean, you just got to make sure you have good parts and make sure you're ready. You can do research and see what's the weak links on it if you're, just getting started. Just make sure, I mean, obviously a transfer case and transmission have to be done. I know there's people out there that do it without it, but if you want to be consistent and make sure that you're not gonna, you know, first pass break something, you need to make sure you have good parts and make sure that doesn't interfere with you having fun.
So, how much of the car would surprise people if they looked at it real closely in the pits? Because a lot of the parts that you mentioned that were upgrades, all the internals, the transmission stuff, the Elite 1500, people can't really see from the outside.
Yeah, no, it just, you open the hood and my engine bay is very clean and shiny, I guess. I mean, it almost looks like a show car, so people have no idea how quick it is or how much horsepower it's making, obviously, unless I tell them. But um, you know, you back, 20 years ago, not everyone knew about the Evo, so it was a lot more fun to pull up next to someone and, you know, pass them up or, basically, you're racing them and blow their doors off and they're like, what happened?
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, but nowadays, I mean, obviously everyone knows what an Evo is, so, not everyone wants to, you know, play around or whatever.
That is true. I guess the days of surprising people in Evo are kind of gone, huh?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, unless you take the wing off and, there's some people that still don't know, maybe like some younger generation might not know about it, but um yeah, I don't know. I still love the car. It's super fun. I'm not looking to sell the car anytime soon.
Good. We don't want you to.
Yeah.
So, Jerry, for people that are unfamiliar with the class, explain what makes stock appearing racing so interesting and so competitive.
So obviously everyone has like a stock appearing. It has to be in the stock location. It's I think FP0 might be the biggest one, but I know there's other companies out there where I think it's like AGT maybe, or
Yep, yep.
um, yeah, there's some other companies out there that make turbos too. So, you know that everyone's making, about the same amount of power. Um, and then obviously you have to have all the like full exhaust, the full interior. It kind of brings everyone, that's why it's obviously a class because everyone's kind of, the same. You got to take full advantage of what you can though. I mean, to be, at the top.
Can't just cut your car up into a race car and get right in.
Yeah, yeah. So you need to comply with all the rules. I mean, the rules aren't too bad. So it's anyone with a stock Evo, I mean not stock Evo, but stock appearing turbo can, probably fit into the class.
Mm. This episode of the MitsuTimes podcast is brought to you by Cosmic Transmissions. They're the world's leader for GetRag DCT 470 performance upgrades, diagnostics, and repair. As an authorized Dodson Motorsports dealer and installer, and a member of the Automatic Transmission Rebuilders Association, you can be assured that your costly transmission is in the best hands possible. With manufacturer prototype testing, repair product development, long-term durability test, and component destructive failure testing all done in-house. They have the experience and knowledge necessary to keep these transmissions performing at their best, with basic service to complete overhaul. Find out more about their products and services at builttrans.com. So, what do you enjoy the most about racing and stock appearing? I know for me, I'm a big stock appearing fan, and my car is built towards the class as well. I love that even though everybody's setups are so similar, the cars are, everything behind it is so different.
Yeah, I mean, it also, it comes down to the driver too, and obviously you got to make sure that your car is going to be good to go. I mean, stuff happens, obviously, things break, but um, I don't know. I think it's fun because you're not getting too crazy. You're not like going 200 miles an hour, and it's still you're not. Um, it's like right in the middle. It's not anything that's too crazy, and not anything that's kind of like slow and boring.
I think it's a perfect in between the kind of serious race classes and the index classes.
Yeah. The index racing, obviously, that's you got to be on that tree, and I'm not there yet. But I want to stay in stock appearing as long as I can for now and go from there.
Yeah, for sure. I want. I know one thing that I want to definitely cover is how competitive the class has become over the last few years. Because you said that you've been in this class for the last few years, and it feels like the class just keeps getting quicker and quicker. I don't want to discourage anybody from entering, but it's crazy how far the class has come in just a few years.
Oh yeah, I remember when 10 years ago when I first entered on my with the FP Black, everyone was running like high tens or something like that. Um, to be in the nines is I never thought that was going to happen. I never thought my car was ever going to be in the nines. That was not my goal in the beginning, but here I am.
Right.
I honestly thought it was going to be, my goal was to break into the nines and, first pass off the trailer with the FP0 and I run a 9.7. I was, pretty happy about that.
For sure. Anybody who's on the fence of buying the zero knot, there you go, right there.
Yeah. So the zero also is, it's not as street friendly as the black is, but if you're, racing most of the time, the zero is an awesome turbo.
Yeah, and it like you said, it's definitely the seems to be the most popular.
Yeah, yeah, for that class, I mean, to have the biggest turbo and have the biggest power, because I don't think you're going to win with a FP green or something like that. I mean, you could, but you would have to be really lucky.
Have to really rely on some other cars braking.
Yeah, exactly. Or or went on a hole shot.
Well, Jerry, we kind of already talked about it or hinted at it at least. One thing that I also love about stock appearing is all the people in stock appearing are friends, and it's kind of weird to say that because obviously we're all competing against each other. Winner takes home the money, but it's I want to talk about the atmosphere in the pits amongst the other stock appearing competitors.
I mean, we're all friends. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I talked to Jeremy and Matt Franks and Hui Tran, and there's some others in there too. When we're waiting in the staging lanes, everyone's cool. We, talk to each other, and yeah, everyone's cool. I mean, the whole Mitsubishi community, in a whole is everyone's great people. I haven't really met anyone that's, you know, an asshole or anything. Everyone's willing to help each other, or give um, advice.
That's definitely one of my favorite things too.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry, I know it's just for fun, but is there a particular person in the stock appearing class that you definitely want to beat every year?
Well, I'd like to get a rematch with Andrew Bowman just to, see how things go this time around. But I mean, in reality, I just want to go out and have fun. I mean, that's the whole point of this is just to go out and have fun and, be safe.
It's definitely the best part of it,
Yeah. If you're not having fun, then yeah, I don't know, maybe you should be doing something else.
especially if you're not having fun at the shootout. Oh,
Yeah, no, I've been going to shootout for quite some time. Obviously not racing all the time, but the shootout is, a great time and lots of familiar faces, and it's kind of like they say, like a family reunion.
yeah. Well, for you, I would imagine that the shootout is the largest event that you race at. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's actually the only one I've raced at. There's some IFOs that are local to me, but unfortunately they don't have racing. It's like a car show. So
Wow.
um, yeah, that's I don't know why they did that, but I mean, unfortunately the couple that are by me, they're car shows. I mean, they do the rev thing and all other stuff, but there's no drag racing.
I didn't realize that there were still IFOs like that. That's huh.
Yeah, I mean, if I see something like local, maybe I'll try and head out there and participate. But yeah, the main one is obviously the shootout. I want to make sure I'm good to go for that. I did look at the Wild in the Valley, but that's a week right before the shootout, and I can't go all the way to New York and then all the way to Ohio. I gotta, I don't have unlimited time off at work.
Yeah, I feel you. And I know you're looking for a rematch at the shootout too. But
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
the, the
I definitely want to win this year.
the payouts at Wild in the Valley, I think, is what's gonna sway a lot of people.
Yeah, I was looking at that too, and I'm like, yeah, but it's also way farther for me. It's a lot, what, like an 8-hour drive or something. So I'm in Illinois, right by Boost and Performance, and yeah, the shootout is nowhere near as far.
Yeah. Well, even when you go to the shootout, I imagine you probably trailer the car.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I don't want to risk anything. Whenever I go to the track now, I always trailer the car.
Yeah.
Um, the one time I went to my local track, I drove there, and on the way, the car did fine, and then on the way home, the pulley balancer broke off, and then I was stuck stranded on the side of the road. So I was like, ever since then, I'm like, I'm just gonna trailer the car.
But when you do go to the shootout, or if you ever make it to an IFO, once you unload from the trailer, what's the typical like checklist or what's your go to before you get up to the staging lane for the first time?
Oh, well, for sure. I mean, check my tire pressures, make sure they're good. I actually, when I put it on the trailer, the tire pressures are higher. I overinflate them, or not overinflate them, but like set them higher. So I deflate the tires, make sure they're at their proper um, pressure, and check my oils, and just look everything under the hood, which I try to do all this stuff before I go to the track. Just make sure I don't see anything crazy that's looks out of place or seems wrong. And then I'll just do a once over at the show also, or at the track. Um, but yeah, and then I also have to um, you get in the car. I also clear the logs because I want to make sure I have fresh logs for the hull tech to record, so I know what's going on. Um, yeah, that's really about it. Suit up, get ready, put your helmet on.
Easy enough, right?
Yeah,
Well, Jerry, what's been the most memorable pass in this car? Is that very close second place last year?
that's very memorable. Yeah, for sure. That one was definitely stuck in my head, and then along with the first 9-7 pass here locally when I off the trailer. So those two are the ones that definitely stand out. And I'll always remember those two for sure.
Especially once you like you said, once you put the FP0 on and made that first pass, I bet you were just going crazy.
Oh yeah, I was when I rolling through the gears, I was like, this is I it was crazy. Yeah, I was shocked. And then when I saw it trapped 150, I was even more shocked. I never thought I would hit 150. My goal was to hit like 140, 145, and it just way went faster than that. So. I'm more than happy with the power the car makes. I'm not looking to make any more power. I just want to make the car a little bit lighter, so easier on the drivetrain, and hopefully helps with the ET.
Yeah, for sure. So we talked about the shootout, obviously. What other events do you currently plan to attend in 2026 so we can come out and maybe talk to you in person or see the car in action?
Well, I'm definitely going to make some test hits at our local track, Great Lakes Dragway, probably in June or July, before the shootout, just to make sure everything feels fine and just get some more seat time. I need to practice on that pro tree, because that's what the stock appearing is. It's Pro Tree, which is if people don't know, it's you light up the two bulbs and it's just like yellow and green. So there's no yellow, 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 green. It's just immediate. It's quick. So you gotta be ready.
Take some good news too, for sure.
Yeah. So I might even do some of that testing like here, just in the area before I go to the track. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be ready this year for uh, get my reaction time down and be ready for sure.
And Jerry, we kind of already talked about it, but obviously the shootout is the main target every season, at least in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as long as the car's together and I'm good to go, then yeah, for sure. I always go to the shootout, stock appearing from here on out. I don't know. I don't have a deadline, like not a deadline, but like I hopefully at least another 5 more years. But we'll see what happens.
I mean, I definitely don't want this to happen. I don't want to jinx it, but if it does get to like two or three cars and they do away with the class, then you think you'll just run maybe the index or something?
I guess the time will come to see. I mean, I like I said, I don't need any more power, and I'm not looking to run at eights. But if I still have the itch and I still want to do it, I might jump into that street eliminator with the 64 mil max turbo, right? Yeah, I mean that's something I wouldn't mind doing. But then at that point, I would definitely need like a cage and some safety for sure because that's going to be a lot faster than what I'm used to.
And then, Jerry, for this year's shootout, what are kind of your goals? Obviously, you want to improve on that second place. Do you have like a number goal in mind that you want to hit?
I want to hit like a 9.4, 9.5. I mean, if I get faster than that, then that'd be even better. But yeah, that's my goal. My goal is to hit a 9.4, 9.5.
Okay. Are you making any?
Obviously at over 150 miles an hour.
Yeah, yeah. Are you making any changes to the car to get down to that number?
I did make the car a little bit lighter. And what else did I do here? I have some more. I'm gonna make the ACD lock up a little bit more, so maybe I can get because I've been cutting like 1.5-ish 60 foot, which is not the best. I mean, I should be cutting a 1.4, maybe even a 1.3. And if I can do that, then that would definitely cut my time into that range where I'm looking for. Um, but yeah, by a shootout, I don't know. I might get some racing brakes for the front at least, lighten up the rotational weight.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as power, I'm not really making any more power. I think this turbo's I'm running it's at a one. I have a pressure sensor on the exhaust, so I can see what my back pressure is. But it's like it's not 2 to 1, but it's like 1.5 to 1. So it's being worked.
You don't really need the extra power yet, huh?
Yeah, no, I don't think I need that. I just need to get the short track down and get a better 60 foot and get my gears. Oh, I also got a shift light to help me now. So it could be before I would just watch the attack and shift. So now I have a light. I don't know if that's going to help me, but at least I'll be more consistent at the RPM I'm shifting at, and I can mess around with that to change it to be less or more or whatever, just to see if it helps my ET.
Fine tune everything in that class.
Yeah. So yep.
It's the small things that matter the most in stock appearing.
Yeah, everything, every little bit counts. So, whether it be weight or, driving style or, whatever it may be. I mean, like I said, everything helps.
So Jerry, if I'm sitting at home listening to this and I have a 16G Evo or FP Red or something, I want to get competitive in stock appearing. What advice would you give me for my build?
Um, Set your, be realistic with your goals. I mean, obviously you don't want to be like, hey, I'm going to go out there and run nines right away. I mean, I think if you've never done this and you've never been to the track, you want to get some seat time and feel everything out, see how everything feels. And then, don't get discouraged when, things break because things will break and, it costs money to, put the stuff together. Um, but yeah, overall, just have fun with doing it, but don't get, like I said, be realistic with your goals.
'Cause it can turn into a job real fast.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to run a nine and you're running, high tens or something, and it's just because you don't have the seat time. It's, maybe your car can do it, but you just need to, be patient and learn your car and just get that seat time in.
Well, Jerry, what's something that maybe people underestimate either in difficulty or in budget when they're trying to build a car like yours to go quick in the stock appearing class?
I mean, a lot of people don't realize how much like an engine build cost or like building your trans and even like everything that drive the T case. It's not like, a couple $1,000s. It's, it gets expensive quick and, it's not like something I did, overnight. It definitely took some time to get my car to where I felt it could be competitive and I could be, in the stock appearing class and, have fun and know that I can be in the top three. Um, I mean, yeah, so that's,
Well, what would you say the ultimate goal is of this car? Because I feel like I know what it is, but go ahead.
well, the ultimate goal is obviously win stock appearing and maybe do it back to back, maybe next year too. But the other goal, like I said, is to be run mid to low nines. I don't think I'll be able to, run an 8, 9, but I never say never, I guess. That's not my goal though. My goal is just like to run mid to low nines.
Yeah, that's good because I was going to say win the shootout, and then you said win the shootout back to back. I was like, oh, I like that one even more.
Yeah, no, if I win this year, I'm definitely coming back to win next year.
Yeah, you got to. Well, Jerry, where can people find and follow you on social media so they can root you on at the shootout?
Well, I do Instagram, which I have it under Wizzo Evo 8. I also have a YouTube channel, which I don't have a lot on there, but it's the same thing, Wizzo Evo 8. And then I'm on Evo N, which nobody really goes on there, but I'm Wizzo 8 there. And then my Facebook is just Jerry Madai, which I don't post a lot about my Evo. I try to keep that like family and stuff like that, but I do post some stuff there too.
And lastly, Jerry, I always give people a chance to give a thanks or a shout out to anybody who's helped them get where they are, anybody who's helped get the car where it is. Is there anybody that you want to give a thanks or a shout out to?
Oh, my wife for sure. I mean, she's my biggest cheerleader and gives me full support for this. I mean, if it wasn't for her support and, my Evo would not be where it's at right now. So without her, I mean, there's no way I would even be competing right now. So, yeah, she's definitely a big help. The people at Boosting Performance, especially Devin, for building me a great engine and have a great tune. All my supporting friends, John at TRE for great trans and TKs, Robert Force Performance for making some amazing turbos. I mean, those are the main ones, really. I mean,
That's already a big group.
yeah. I mean, all my supporting friends, they definitely help. We always like bounce ideas around and, have talk about, things to do. And, I always, that group of friends is the same friends that we hang out with at the shootout. So it's not just me there. It's me with the group of friends that all have Mitsubishis. So, yeah, but my wife is the biggest one.
I love that. Family affair.
Oh yeah.
Well, Jerry, thank you so much for coming on here and telling your story. I hope that we can get some more people in that stock appearing class, and and obviously you still can get your revenge on Andrew.
Yeah, and hopefully there's no buy runs and the class is full.
Yes, 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 yes. We want a full class.
Yeah, I want to race more and not just have like 2 races.
All right, Jerry. Well, I won't hold you up anymore. Have a great night.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the MitsuTimes podcast. Check out our Instagram and Facebook for daily updates. Get added to our list by going to MitsuTimes.org and clicking Submit a Slip. Thank you to all of our sponsors.